Hi, and welcome to Inside View. I'm your host, Joel Metzger, and joining me on the show today is Barbara Sullivan, who is the Treasurer Tax Collector for Calaveras County. Welcome, Barbara.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you on the show. I know not everyone wants to know all about the tax collector or treasurer, but I think it's a lot more interesting than people might realize. And so we're gonna get into kind of what it is that your office does and why that's so important for the county. But before we get there, I just wanted people to get to know you a little bit. So take me back to where you grew up, and then kind of bring us to the present.
Well, I'm originally from the Bay Area, born and raised there. Came out to Calaveras County looking for a retirement property back in the 80s and decided we were going to take up stake and stay here. So I did. I had to commute, of course, out of the area, but my background's accounting. So I worked in accounting and then banking industry for a while.
Okay.
So that brought me up here to stay. And then I worked at Central Sierra, which is a local bank that turned into Umpqua.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so I was trying to keep my roots, where I live, but it was very hard over 33 years to stay here. But I did manage to do that, and now I'm the Treasurer Tax Collector.
Now you're a tax collector. So, like back in high school, we all had the thing we wanted to be when we grew up, right? Did you kind of know you wanted to be in finance, accounting, and then eventually maybe an elected, or was it more something else, a different dream?
Believe it or not, it was accounting. So I took accounting at Chabot Junior College. I started there. So I basically stayed in accounting and all my ventures that I did, and then into payroll, other things out of accounting.
Okay.
But elected was not part of the...
That wasn't part of the equation?
No, that just happened to come along when it came along. So.
Okay. And where in the Bay Area was it that you grew up?
East Bay in Hayward.
In Hayward, okay.
Yeah.
I love that whole area, but I imagine it's just become more and more populated. And when you go back, is it some place that you enjoy, or do you like the rural foothills a lot better?
No, it's hard for me to get back there. But I do have family still there, so when I do go, it's nice to visit. And it still seems like it was, because a part of the Bay Area is still old. It's not really new, revitalized like the Tri-Valley area would be.
Yeah.
So I enjoy going back, yeah.
Okay.
But I stay home.
It's always the traffic that just makes me go crazy.
Oh, I know, especially when it's raining.
Yeah.
I feel for those people today.
So you were telling me that you came up, you got a retirement home, but then your other home was sold more quickly than maybe you thought?
Yeah, in 3 days we sold our house in
3
Tracy,
days.
because we moved from the Bay Area to Tracy to here.
Okay.
And I did not expect that. Plus, I didn't even really know about it. I got a call that night, somebody wanted to look at it, and that's how I found out.
So it was just a sudden move, kind of.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this was probably the best move, but it took a while to understand that. Because 33 years ago there was nothing here. One gas station, one grocery store. And, it was great. I do miss that part of it, but a lot of people can't stand that part of the rural part of it. They need shopping where I don't.
I'm always curious, when you grow up in an area in the city, what is it about Calaveras County that kind of attracted you? I mean, to the point where you wanted to buy a home here. What was it that caught your eye?
I think it's every season. You have like Bear Valley. We skied a lot in Bear Valley. We loved Hogan, loved Lake Hogan. So it's like you have everything. You have the summer, you have the winter. So we liked it all. It was just really great planning to be around where you went and visited anyway.
Yeah.
So
you ended up with an acre parcel.
Yeah.
And do you end up doing any gardening or anything like that?
I'm
or
an
do you
indoor gal mainly.
Okay.
Yeah, not too much. My husband's outdoor, I'm indoor, so it works pretty good.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
What are the things that you enjoy outside of your work?
Oh, gosh, lately I haven't thought about that too much. But basically, I used to do a lot of skiing, a lot of snow skiing, and water skiing. We've done so many things like that. But as I've gotten older, it's more about traveling. I went to Ireland a year ago.
No way.
So yeah, it was great. It was great to see. Beautiful country, beautiful people. But traveling is my main thing right now.
So what's one spot that you really want to go, but you haven't been able to go yet?
I'd like to go to Portugal, where it's my mom's family's from.
Oh,
so the
cool.
Azores Islands and stuff. So that's my next one, hopefully.
Awesome. So you were in the area for a while, quite some time, 33 years, and you worked in the banking industry and so on and so forth. What was it that led you to decide to pursue the current position that you're in?
Well, I landed in the department in 07 or 06, I believe, and I became Lynn Norfolk's assistant back then. And working in that position, I didn't know that the succession plan is for the assistant to become the treasurer tax collector.
Oh,
because I didn't think about her retiring. So when she retired, the offer came up, and it was either take it or somebody else was going to try and run against me or run for the office and take it. But I was the best prepared, so it made more sense for me to do it.
For a smooth transition.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
And
and
I know I saw that in the people when they voted too. They want somebody that can actually transition, like you said, instead of going out and retraining or thinking they can come in, and just take over.
And so many people do think they can just come over and just make all these changes and, kind of impose their own ideas, when in fact that can be pretty disruptive, I imagine.
Yeah, and then my current situation, I'm pretty short-handed, and I'm doing it all with my staff that I do have. But when I say I'm doing it all, I'm doing more than I ever thought I'd be doing as the treasurer tax collector. So, but I know it all. So it's best that I'm in that position. So
You're a know-it-all? Is that what you're saying?
that's what it sounds like, huh? Kind of.
So you worked as the assistant, Lynn, and she was there for quite some time, wasn't she?
12 years.
12 years. Okay, so you had a long time to work
Yeah.
with her. Was her retirement something that came as a surprise, or was it something that
Well,
she?
it was to me, but it wasn't to her.
Okay.
I just never thought that was going to be the goal, was for me to become that position. But her last year in office, that's when she kind of approached me and said, you better think about it if you're going to. So.
Okay. And then were you conflicted to the point where you almost didn't do it, or did you
Well,
realize?
elected, running. Like you're being elected, it's great for the position, but it's an oddball thing if you've never been elected. I mean, I've applied for a job. I've never had to tell people to hire me, like vote for me.
Right.
So that's the odd part of it. So.
And did you have any kind of time where you were like the appointed person and then you ran, or did you
No,
go right into
right
the
into the
election?
election,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah, she stayed till the very end, which
She
is
did.
good.
Okay, that's kind of nice. And then how was it to go out? Did you go to campaign nights and did you
Yeah.
do speeches?
Yeah, I think there were 19 of us that year in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was pretty busy.
Okay.
So we were like this little team just moving around the county, But it was very, very interesting and very, uplifting to meet all the people in the other areas, since I am from Valley Springs. Got to meet the Arnold folks, So it was good that we got to travel around.
So you won. Did you have a lot of people against you, or was it
Just one person, yeah.
Okay.
And I got 70% of the votes.
Oh, that's wow.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
was, I mean, but you never know. The first night when they load all the votes in, you're like,
Oh, no.
is that good? Is that good?
Yeah.
You don't know.
So you won, and then you already had been in the departments. Obviously, that was it was just kind of assuming that new role. But I imagine you knew a lot of what was going on prior to going in
Yeah,
there.
Lynn, a lot of the stuff she did, the investment part of it, bonds, administrator, things like that I wasn't a part of. So I had to jump into that.
Okay, and so that's actually let's talk about that, because I don't think people really realize how much it is that you do. So on that side, the financial side, what are you responsible for as the treasurer tax collector?
Wow. Well, right now we currently have 132 million, and when I say we, it's everybody, special districts, anybody in the county pool. So schools, that's mainly the money that's in that 132. A lot of people they think we have money, the county, period, but it's everybody's. So I manage that, but I also manage an outside advisor to actually handle the investment portion of it, since it takes a full-time person to do that type of investing. But I am basically the bank for all of county government. On that end, we take deposits, we do the check reconciliations that come through the bank. There's so much involved when we talk about banking, but government's interesting because there's so many channels and facets within the accounting of it, But basically,
So let's say I'm in another department and I want to write a check. Do I have to go through you for that?
well, you go through the auditor. So the auditor is the one that actually does the expenses. So she would do the processing of the checks, but it's
Okay.
deposits that would come to me. But she
Oh,
also
okay.
processes those too. I'm the actual bank per se, but the processing would go through the auditor.
So you receive the money when it's
Right,
coming in
and I
deposit it.
distribute the money.
Okay, and then this 132 million, which belongs to the special districts,
Everybody,
everybody. What is that, like a investment fund, like a nest egg in a way, or how
Well,
does it work?
there's an operating fund daily, so if I need money in and out, so I manage between 3 to 6 million a day, okay?
A
And
day?
that's- Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot
I know,
of money.
but, it's funny because we're a small county, that's pretty small, but that's just operating. I don't want to keep too much in-house because what am I making on that? So I have to keep watching that. But then the other side of it is when it goes to the outside investor. So he has probably around 70 million that he watches over for us. The other is invested into LAIF, which is a local agency income fund with the state.
LAIF. Okay.
Yeah, that's what it's called. And they have now, I just heard today, that as of the 1st, they're going up to 60 million we can have in there. I currently have 50 million.
Is there any kind of guaranteed return on that, or?
Yeah, it's an average rate because it's
Average
a
rate.
pooled, again, it's pooled funds of all counties, LA County, anybody that's in it, municipality, CCWD. whoever's in that, they go out and they invest that money. So we've got a chunk of the interest rate. It averages, I think, right now by 0.28 basis points.
Okay.
Yeah. So I hate to have that much liquid, but with the fire too, I'm not sure what monies we'll be needing right away.
Right.
So I try to keep a lot liquid going on too, they call it.
So that's that chunk, and then there's the other chunk that's managed by the outside advisor.
Right.
And is that more kind of like it's not liquid, it's going to be in there for a
Correct.
while, you can't just go grab it?
Right. By
Okay.
law, R&T code for California Revenue and Taxation Code, counties, we can go up to 5 years in investment. You can't go any further out. So ours is anywhere from 3 months with commercial paper, depending on something I need to turn around in, or up to 5 years.
Okay.
So it's always a moving target. And then now with interest rates possibly going up, it's good that I was kind of maybe long, or short term, on some, so I can reinvest to get the higher.
Okay.
So it's all about moving, it's all benchmark, they call it.
And is this is something you totally have just picked up and learned? And
Yeah, and I have, of course, my own investments, on the outside that I've always followed too.
Okay.
But yeah, when I took this over is when I really had to jump into it. Thanks to my advisor for really helping.
All right.
me
All right.
understand.
That's kind of exciting. I mean, it's like you get to be a financial advisor in a way, but
Yeah,
on a
but
much
it's
larger
public
scale.
money. So first thing is safety,
Okay.
then liquidity is how it goes, because we want to make sure that everybody knows their money's safe.
So you're not going to be doing those, big risk, big gain type of stuff.
Right.
Much safer.
Which happened back in the recession to a lot of people.
Right.
Well, a lot of counties, I should say.
They were taking more risks than
Well,
maybe.
yeah, San Mateo County, they lost, I think it was $2 million.
Ooh.
Which really isn't a lot for their size of county, but you don't want to lose money.
No.
You're never in the market to lose.
No.
So that was a hit for them. But
Any other treasurer side things that you take care of, or is that kind of the main thing, the investment in the bank? And
well, the treasuries, we have the morning balancing and we have the evening balancing. So with that, we get monies from all angles. I get money for the courts on credit card. We get tax payments coming through. Caltrans will send the public works money. So it's not just what they're bringing me, what I've got to see in the banking too. So we've got to react on that. So there's a lot of treasury going on. It's a busy county. So, but yeah, mainly it's the banking side of it. But then there's also other things that go, with the tax side of it.
So let's go into that. So now, you're two. Why are you two? Why isn't there a treasurer and why isn't there a tax collector? Is it because we just aren't big enough for that, or is this a common
It's a
two in
common.
one?
It's
It
very
is.
common.
Okay.
Yeah, treasurer tax collector in California is usually together.
Okay.
It may be in LA because they're
Just so big.
Yeah, they're like their own state. That might be different, but most of them are the same.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So on the tax collector side, I mean, we all know we don't love paying taxes, but how does it work with kind of like the county taxes versus the state versus the federal? What's your involvement in all that, and how does that work?
Well, county is pretty isolated.
Okay.
Our county taxes. And again, just so you know, I'm the messenger. I don't assess people.
That's
Just so-
Leslie Davis, right?
Yes, let everybody know. I'm just collecting it on behalf of the county.
And I know that the assessor always says, we just put the value on, she collects it, so I think you
Yeah,
both
it's
are
like,
doing
I know,
this.
That's funny. But yeah, so basically it's just the county involved, the 1%, and then any
No,
direct
explain that. So only 1% of all of our taxes get to stay here?
1% is county.
Okay.
Given to the general fund.
Okay.
So 1% of, I think it's around 18 cents per dollar right now is what it figures out. The auditor, again, does that calculation. And then the rest of it gets, portioned out. So out of that 1%, it goes to like 35 entities.
And are those like the special districts and other things? And the schools get the most?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's changed much.
So there's the 1%, so we only get a little chunk, and of that, that's broken down to all these other things. So there's very little of our tax dollars that actually stay local. Then.
Right. Well, when you say stay local, no, they're pretty staying here.
Okay.
But like direct charges, like if, let's say you lived in a, like Rancho Calaveras, let's say they had a fee because you lived there, like a road fee. That'd be additional to the 1%.
Got it.
It's like Saddle Creek has. Type
Got
thing.
it.
But again, that money stays there. It's to put to a good use to the cause of the bond or whatever that's on there.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So no, we don't collect on anything but our county taxes.
Got it. Okay, and so what are kind of the deadlines that people should be aware of with taxes?
Well, the actual real deadlines, and I'm trying to make people aware of that by changing the tax bill, and they haven't been happy about it, but it's February 1st and November 1st.
Oh.
Due and delinquent by December 10th and April 10th. There's a grace period in there. And most people go by the April 10th and December 10th because that's their drop dead date. But that's what it is. It's a drop dead date. December 11th doesn't work. So I'm trying to educate them to understand that the grace period is there but they don't.
So you would really, it would be nice if people would actually go by the February
Well,
instead
no,
of the
I mean,
April.
as long as they know, because I just don't want them to be late. My thing is to make everybody so they don't have to pay a late fee. I really am all for that.
And how do the late fees work exactly?
It's 10%, and then on the second one, it's 10% and a $20 cost because delinquency notices and other things start generating from the delinquency of 2 installments.
So whatever my taxes owed are, 10% of that. So if I owe a lot of taxes.
Well, the first installment's 10% and the second installment, if you were late on each. So each one gets 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And then after a year, it starts earning interest.
it starts earning interest
Meaning for us, the county.
for the county.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happens if I don't pay my taxes by the first one, by the drop dead, and then I'm just late, and then the next deadline comes around and I don't pay you then? What happens if this just keeps happening and happening and happening?
Well, we try to work with people and make them aware of it by sending them notices, and then there is payment plans available. After a year in delinquency, you can open a payment plan. Still, interest is accruing on that, but if you can get in and open that up, that'd be your best thing. It's 1/5 the amount that you're owing. So it's,
Oh, wow.
so it's much better. But they still had to pay the 10% on each of those installments going into that. So you're still going to pay penalties, but it's trying to get it paid off for you. And after 5 years, it goes to tax sale
What's
of
the
non-payment.
Okay, so if I just don't, I don't pay, I ignore all your efforts and olive branches to try to help me, and I want none of it and haven't paid, then you have the right as the county to actually sell the property. And is that what I see on the courthouse steps? Is that what
No,
is
that's
going on?
foreclosures. Those
That's
are
foreclosures.
deed trustee sales. That's by
Okay.
the lenders.
So where would a tax sale happen? How would I find
Basically,
that?
it's online. It used to be at the library, and they'd hold it, and like 10 people would show up.
Okay.
Now we have quite a few parcels. We have quite a few than we used to have. So we go online to bid for assets, and it's a main location for almost all United States. Very
Oh,
good,
wow.
Yeah. So we
Okay.
reach out to everybody.
Okay. And so the property listed on that, and is it sold for the amount of taxes owed
Right. I'm only selling for what the county needs for defaulted taxes.
to make you whole, basically?
right, that's
Okay.
all.
So is there kind of an opportunity to get property for less than the market value that way, or?
Again, you're asking me that, I don't know, because
It
all I
just
look at is
depends.
that tax amount.
Okay.
There'll be people, like we had one sale this last time for $350,000.
Whoa.
And all I needed was $40,000.
Oh,
So that excess now sits for a year, and then anybody who wants to file a claim or has right to that money files a claim, and then they will be divvied out after a year.
So when it's on this online site, it's not that you can just bid the amount. You can have a bidding war and go up, 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 and then whoever gets it. Okay, so if it's
Yeah.
a valuable piece, then you can see
Right,
that.
and that's like what you're saying. I'm not sure, because I know, I've seen pictures of the houses, because we have to actually make a personal contact with the people. The last ditch effort, we have to go see them.
Oh,
So
okay.
I've seen them, or I've seen the pictures of them. So yeah, there's some that are houses out there,
Oh,
Most of it's vacant land, but there are houses.
Okay, okay. And like roughly in a given year, I mean, are we seeing a lot of these, or?
Well, it's starting to, thank gosh, go down a bit.
Okay.
But we were up to 160 parcels at one time.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And that's pretty big. So we do them every year because of that. But this year, I think we had 80 or 60, somewhere around there. And then we were going to do a reoffer, but because I have no staff, I stopped that. So we're not doing a reoffer. So
And when they go on to this site, are they there indefinitely until they sell, or do they come
it's
back?
a 4-day period.
Oh, it's 4 days.
Yeah, it's a very short sale.
Oh my
When you
gosh.
say short sale, I better watch how I say that. 4 days is a short period.
Okay, and then you don't have the opportunity if it's not bought, it comes back off.
Correct.
And
It's
then
still delinquent, and the people that still own it could come in still,
Okay.
or try to sell it.
Okay.
A lot of times that's what people are trying to do, but they wait too long, like after 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can try and get it sold, then that would be great. Then
got
they
it.
get the money.
And if it doesn't sell, is it a year before it goes back up again?
Yeah, I do it
Oh,
only
wow.
once a year. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's a very limited.
Yeah. So once you're doing that, and then there's Habitat for Humanity. That's called a Chapter 8. They can come in and pull one if they're interested in it, and they get rights to it as long as they pay what I need to take. So that's the first time I've had one of those. I know Lynn had one, but
And
so that's another animal.
they don't have to bid against everybody.
No.
They can just get
But
it.
I have
for-
to go through the state. I have to let the state know, and the state gets involved in giving us good graces on that for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But they don't do
Okay.
anything but tell me, okay. Oh, I don't understand.
Yeah,
that part.
that's so. What time of year does this happen usually?
November. It's usually the second week in November.
Second week November. Okay. And do you publicize it at all? Or
Oh,
do you-
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I put it on the website. My webpage has a lot of information.
What is that, or is it a long address that is hard to remember?
Well, they can just go to Calaveras, I think it's Calaveras Gov.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then click on the
Then the tax collector.
treasure
yeah,
tax collector.
yeah.
Okay. So you keep that updated with good
Right.
stuff.
And you can also sign up for reminders for your taxes so you don't miss them.
Really?
I
And
send out an email right before.
Is that through the website too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for auction information, if they're interested in sales, they can sign up.
All right.
So-
All right. So, like, what's an idea of how much money comes in through taxes? Do we have a kind of a rough idea on that?
So I want to say, I think we're, again, county versus what I see total, because I'm collecting everything, direct charges, everything. I think we're at 83 million,
83 million.
and the county portion is probably around 57.
Okay, so there's a significant
Oh,
amount
yeah.
of these extras which
Yes.
go to these different
Yeah.
areas. Okay.
I'm looking that way because I'm trying to think.
Right, I
Last
don't
time
mean to
looked
put
at-
you on the
Oh, no,
spot.
I was thinking of looking at some other stuff, but
And so I imagine that because of the housing collapse and the property value decline and all that, has that kind of decreased the amount the county's looked at in terms of the taxes we've collected, or is it starting to go back up? Or
well, I think we saw, 4.5% last year, so it has gone up. And
Gone
again,
back up.
as Leslie would tell you, and the assessor, it goes from areas. So like the West End was the first one hit, it's the first one to go back up. Now,
okay.
one year mine went up 27%. Once you're in a Prop 8 or decline in value, once it starts coming back up, to catch you back up to your base is how you get up so quick like I did.
Okay.
So now I'm back off it and I'm on Prop 13 again. So that's an interesting
Okay.
thing. That's the
and
whole
this
story
is-
on her end.
This is your property down in the
Yes, on mine. I'm
Rancho.
just giving you an example.
Well, that's
on mine.
that's wow. That's
Yeah.
a great.
And I told my
increase.
neighbors, be prepared, because it's going to be the whole street, because she looks at areas.
Well,
And they're
I
like,
would-
no. I'm like, yeah.
And was it true? Did
Yeah, it
they
went
all go
up
back
pretty
up?
good, yeah.
Okay. I always think if I want to sell my house, I want my value, way up. But if I'm going to be there for a long time, I'm fine with the housing collapse and all
Yeah.
that, right? Because it's
Well, I don't know.
no.
I don't know. Well, because I'm the tax collector and I don't mind paying taxes either. I think
Okay.
it's good for the economy.
That's true. That's
Good
true.
for us.
You are facing a challenge right now in your office, and I must say, I don't know how you're doing it. So tell me, when fully staffed, without any budget problems, how many staff would you have in your office?
The most one-digit amount is what I used to have a long time ago, which would be 6 people.
6 people.
Right.
Okay, so that's like everything's
Yeah,
good.
that's not going to happen.
Okay.
I don't think in the next 5 years we'll see that.
So what was the last time that you had 6 people?
2008, 7?
Okay, so we're talking kind of right when things went
right,
south.
Right.
Okay.
And I think it was with Lynn at the time, so that's
Oh,
what
so you've
started.
never had
Oh,
that
no.
many.
It's just been, getting worse.
So what's happened? Have they slowly dropped off?
Well, yeah, we've had a change in staff, but my assistant, who played a big role, and of course helping me when I'm not here, she's able to transfer money, get the investments if she has to. That person has gone, so I'm short that person. So I'm picking up what I used to do, basically.
Okay.
And then our front staff person, who does business license and TOT, is gone.
And TOT is?
Treasurer, I'm sorry, I should never give you the acronym.
Well, I know what it is, but
Yeah,
I want to
no,
make
that's
sure.
true.
our
Transit
folks-
occupancy tax.
Okay, and that's what people pay when they come in, but they don't live here, like in
The motels,
hotels,
or vacation rentals, yeah.
Got it,
Less than
okay.
30 days, it's 6%.
And so she handles all that.
She did.
She did.
Yeah,
Okay.
now I do. So, and then business licenses. Right now in January is when we do our massive renewal process.
Oh, so you have to handle that. Oh my
There's
goodness.
probably 3,700.
Um,
So
So
we'll
a-
send them out and see
a
what
letter
happens.
for each one?
Well, yeah, I have to actually print everyone out.
No way.
And then we're going to stuff them in mail just like we do our other stuff. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting because, I mean, it is what it is. If they're still in business, they'll let us know. So,
Right.
And if they're not, they'll let me know too. So.
Okay. Okay. So that's a big thing. And so how many staff members? So 6 is totally staffed, good times. How many
Oh,
staff
yeah.
members do you have right now?
Well, I have me and another tax technician, and then 2 extra hires that are just helping me out.
Oh, so you only have 2 regular full-time, down from 6.
Me and because of the level of my assistant and me, I can only do certain things where I can't give it to her because of classification.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and I don't want to overwhelm her too. Oh my gosh, she's picking up the other part of the office as it
Mm-hmm.
is. But I was able to get a retiree from my office come back, so she's helping, thank God.
Nice.
And then another one that retired from San Joaquin County, was also on our property tax system, knows it. She's helped out through the tax time. So she'll be here another couple weeks and that's it.
Oh
But,
my
I can't train them because they're not staying. So it's like the rest of it, I still have to
So like you can't invest too much because
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
a full-time.
Yeah.
So are you going to be able to get some new hires in?
Yeah,
What's the
tomorrow I
plan?
have interviews, so I'm excited. I'm going to pick 2, hopefully.
Okay. How are you holding up? Because I mean, 2 people trying to do with some extra hire though.
Yeah.
That
I'll
must
tell you,
be.
those 4-day holidays we just had were a blessing, because I
Okay.
don't know what I would have done. It's just, 10-hour days are just, and then on the weekend I try to read stuff and catch up on stuff. So,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
I'll get through it. I keep saying that. I have to be positive. I am.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'll get through it.
But at least the funding's there to hire the staff that you need.
Yeah, it is going forward. I should be fine.
Okay.
I've figured it out that I did have a part-time person, a 4-dayer, and by where I'm at right now, I should have no problem having it full-time at that point, because we're going to need 2 new people, not knowing anything,
Right.
to come in, and you just can't have a part-time person.
Yeah, and then you have all that months to get them up
Yes.
to speed to where they're really being effective.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right. Well, we hope that goes okay
Thanks.
for you and hang
Appreciate
in
it.
there. Now, the last thing I wanted to ask you about was that the Butte fire has affected everyone. What have you seen? What impacts have you seen from the Butte fire? Do you expect to see from the Butte fire?
I think it's been very draining on the people involved.
Okay.
I feel really sorry for the people affected. At the county level, because of the tax bills, they were generated prior to the fire. So I put a little flyer in there stating if they're affected by it, file on a reassessment with the assessor, and then that way they can get, what I want to say, not a reduction, but they can put off penalties and stuff where they're not charged penalties. But I would do that anyway. I mean, I'm sorry, if somebody had lost their home, it's called a calamity. And once that happens, they shouldn't have to pay the status that they were originally with.
Because the value's not there.
So
Yeah.
I was going to make sure that they didn't get charged anyway. But they can file with the assessor, and I think that period's over now. So they should be going forward to process those. But that's the biggest question is, when will it be corrected? And how's it going to affect my taxes? And when, so we don't have those answers.
So the assessors who people need to go and see right now to talk about their values.
Yeah, I
and-
believe most of them, the majority did, because she reached
Okay.
out, of course, to all of them too.
Okay. But what we're going to see, what you're going to see is with those reassessments, the values are down, which
Right.
means you're probably not going to see the same tax revenue.
Right. Again, I'm not sure half of those places what they had on them to begin with.
Oh, okay.
So there was some that will be replaced and some that probably won't come back.
Got it.
It's hard.
Got it. Yeah, huge, very devastating,
yeah.
and just terrible.
Yeah, it
but
was crazy.
but it seems like the county's kind of come together, and people
Yeah.
are the community's trying to get through this and breathe some hope into
Yeah.
these people's
Watching everybody
lives.
come together during it was amazing.
It was.
Yeah, it was great. So,
Okay. All right. So, final thing to leave the viewers with: biggest challenge that you're going to face in 2016. What do you think?
just make sure my office is tip-top shape and running like it used to be.
Okay.
So I'm hoping it will be just fine. But I'd like to thank the taxpayers for being patient. And if they have any questions, please just call.
Okay. Call, and we have the number up there, and then
Yeah.
also there's the website that they can go to for lots of resources.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
Thanks.
Well, Barbara, thank you so much for joining me, and
Appreciate it.
thanks for what you do for the county.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining me on this edition of Inside View. I'm your host, Joel Metzger, and I hope you join me next time.